There's an ancient secret about the Lord of the Underworld. No one dares to speak. Are you ready to uncover the lost and forbidden truth behind the name Hades? Welcome back to MythX, where we pull back the veil on mythology's darkest truths. Today, we plunge headlong into the shadowy realm of the one deity most mortals fear to name, Hades, the king of the underworld, the overseer of souls, the mysterious brother to Zeus and Poseidon, who rules a forsaken domain lost to light and hope. Many believe they know his story, but the truth lurking beneath the surface is far darker than any mortal mind can imagine. Some parts of our story can be graphic at times. Viewer discretion is advised. Our journey begins eons ago, in a time when Titans ruled the cosmos. Hades was born of the mighty Titan Kronos and his wife, Rhea. Unlike Zeus and Poseidon, whose fates would lead them to the sky and sea, Hades was destined to rule the world of the dead. But the reason he descended into that murky kingdom is steeped in secrecy. From the moment he opened his eyes, Hades' life was marked by dread and uncertainty. Kronos, haunted by a terrifying prophecy that his own children would overthrow him, devoured each newborn as soon as they were born. When Hades first drew breath, he was swallowed into the living darkness of his father's stomach. Imagine that lonely, hollow imprisonment. Hades, trapped, powerless, with only the muffled screams of his siblings for company. In that lost void, a seed of darkness took root. Years later, Zeus, spared by Rhea's cunning, forced Kronos to regurgitate his children. Hades emerged into a world trembling under his father's tyranny. Freed from that living tomb, he joined Zeus and Poseidon to overthrow Kronos and the Titans in a brutal war that nearly tore the cosmos apart. When the Titans fell, the three brothers divided the universe. Zeus claimed the thunderous sky, Poseidon seized the raging seas, and Hades was left with the underworld, or so the legend goes. But what if there was a conspiracy at play? What if Hades' destiny was decided less by chance and more by a secret design? Ancient fragments whisper that Hades wasn't merely assigned the underworld. He chose it, drawn by a strange calling, a fascination with the silence of the grave. Was it out of fear, or was it an unspoken hunger for power beyond mortal comprehension? Some fear it was both. Hidden deep beneath the earth, the underworld is a realm of eternal night. Very few living eyes have gazed upon its bleak shores and returned to speak of it. There, across the dark waters of the river Styx, the spirits of the dead drift aimlessly. Charon, the ferryman, exacts a toll from each soul. Those who fail to pay are doomed to wander for 100 years, their voices lost in the cold gloom. And in the heart of this domain, upon a dread throne of black stone, sits Hades himself. What does it mean to govern an empire of the dead? To see lost souls enter a realm they can never leave? The conspiracies revolve around Hades' motives. He's not merely an indifferent manager of the dead. Some say he relishes the hush of eternal night, feasting on the sorrow of ghosts. Others claim that beneath his stern demeanor lies a trapped soul yearning for release from the duty the fates thrust upon him. These conflicting beliefs swirl through ancient texts, fueling the chilling aura around Hades' name. Nowhere is this darkness more evident than in the infamous tale of Persephone. She was the daughter of Demeter, goddess of the harvest. One warm, sunlit day, Persephone wandered across a field gathering flowers, unaware that her every step brought her closer to her doom. Hades watched her from the shadows, his heart twisted by longing and loneliness. In a sudden act of obsession, he broke through the earth in a chariot drawn by black horses, snatching Persephone into the underworld. She disappeared without a trace, leaving only a few scattered petals in her wake. What happened in that murky domain? The darkest rumors insist that Persephone tried desperately to escape. Her cries echoed through the cavernous halls, but no mortal or god dared to oppose Hades in his own territory. Meanwhile, Demeter scoured the earth in desperation, refusing to allow crops to grow until her beloved daughter returned. Faced with the extinction of life on the surface, Zeus was forced to intervene. But Hades had one last trick: a few seeds from a forbidden pomegranate. The moment Persephone tasted them, she was bound to the underworld forever. This wasn't just a clever ploy. It was a terrifying insight into Hades' nature. He manipulated both mortality and divine law, ensuring Persephone would spend part of each year by his side. With every cycle, the earth plunges into winter, reflecting Demeter's grief and reminding us of how Hades' abduction scarred the world. Even as Persephone ascended each spring, she was never truly free of the dark ties that bound her to the underworld. But Hades' dominion does not end with Persephone's story. The underworld holds countless horrors: the fiery torment of Tartarus, where the worst offenders languish; the fields of Asphodel, where aimless shades roam in eternal monotony; and the Elysian fields, reserved for the heroic few. Some of these realms may seem just or even peaceful, but the question that lurks in the darkness is, how did Hades gain the power to judge every soul that enters? Myths speak of Hades' helmet of invisibility, gifted to him from the Cyclops. They also speak of treacherous deals he forged with those foolish enough to court death's domain. One fable recounts a mortal who dared to cheat Hades himself, only to discover that tricking the lord of the underworld has terrifying repercussions. The tale warns mortals against making bargains with one who rules secrets that no living creature was meant to know. Over centuries, worship of Hades was laced with dread. His name itself was rarely spoken out loud, replaced by titles like Pluton or Rich One, referencing the Earth's hidden wealth of minerals and riches. Some suspect that the real reason behind these euphemisms was more sinister. To call upon Hades was to invite his gaze, a chilling prospect for any mortal. Yet for all his darkness, was Hades truly evil? Many stories describe him as stern but fair, punishing the wicked, rewarding the just, and maintaining balance in a universe that can't exist without death. Perhaps his darkness is simply the reflection of an inescapable truth: that life ends, and every soul must face the underworld eventually. But does that justify the abduction of an unwilling bride, or the centuries of conspiracy and fear that swirl around his name? One final mystery remains. In scattered scrolls, there's talk of a hidden power that slumbers within the underworld, something older than the Olympians, older even than the Titans. Some rumors point to primordial entities that Hades alone can command. If these forces exist, he may hold more power than Zeus or Poseidon ever imagined. And maybe, just maybe, that's why he was confined to the underworld in the first place, to prevent him from unleashing an ancient devastation upon the living world. So now you know. The story of Hades is darker than simple ghost stories. It's a canvas painted with forbidden knowledge, conspiracy, and lost secrets ancient civilizations feared to share. He is neither a hero nor a simple villain, but something far more complex. A cosmic force seated upon a throne of shadows. The next time you hear the name Hades, remember that his is the realm we must all eventually face. A place where every soul finds its final resting spot, or punishment. No matter how powerful the gods of Olympus may be, none can truly escape the domain of death. And in that eternal gloom, Hades reigns. This is Myth X, and we hope you leave here with a deeper understanding of the dark truths behind Hades. If you dare to journey further into the shadows, stay tuned, because our next descent might be even more chilling. Until then, remember, nothing remains hidden forever, not even in the darkest depths of the underworld.